see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Counts, wait time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts.
The Two Count. The Two Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I got to tell you, I wish you could see how pumped up Top Shelf Tommy gets as we get ready for this show. He's doing all the fist pumping and the pointing to himself when his name is mentioned. It's awesome.
It's about time.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. We'll get to you when it's your turn. All right. We're very happy to have you here with us this evening, folks. JJ is there. And I'm going to start off right now because JJ's Blood Alcohol Content sent me a package in the mail, and he said, don't open it until the show. And so I didn't. I didn't at all. And here we go. I'm excited to see what it is. I hope it's not disgusting. I hope it's not grotesque. Let's see what it is. And, it's a T-shirt, as I had thought and hoped. And it is, the Wrestling Legends of Minneapolis. Very cool. There's Vern. There's the Baron. There's Mad Dog Vachon. There's Hulk Hogan. Jesse the Body. Nick Bockmenkel. Road Warriors. Dick the Bruiser. And the Crusher. Love it. A hell of a shirt there, JJ. That's fantastic.
If that doesn't have X-Pac on it, it's bullshit.
Shut up, Tom.
You know,
that's classic. It has Nick Bockmenkel on it. It's all it needs.
Nick Bockmenkel. I mean, I would love to have a Nick Bockmenkel only shirt. Now all I have to do 100%. Is figure out how much of this I'm going to have to trim so it'll fit my fat carcass. But JJ, that's super awesome. Thank you very much. Where did you find that, JJ? My gosh, it's like old school, baby. I mean, that's really very cool.
And we all clearly know who's Jay's favorite is, since I don't know T-shirt.
It was never you, to be fair.
It could have always been me. Okay,
never.
You don't know. Maybe I thought it could have been a bomb that he was sending you. Like, maybe he's a vindictive motherfucker, and maybe there's a bunch of poison, like arsenic, on that motherfucker, and just gonna seep into through your pores, and you're gonna kill you over that way. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what's gonna happen.
Watch that shirt first.
If it happens, we have an extra ticket to the Mall of America show then.
Free fanny pack.
Free fanny pack.
Yeah,
that's right.
We splurged.
And I do want to say he did put right on the address label Johnny fucking Russell.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which I don't know what the mailman's going to think now. But it doesn't make any difference. I'll see if I can wear that shirt. I think that would be a fantastic shirt to wear down to the Hall of Fame weekend.
Yeah, that definitely would be. A lot of those guys have been through Waterloo for the Hall of Fame weekend.
Absolutely.
And so, because we don't pay enough attention, and we were like, we're going to have TS not be on right away, and then we'll bring him in. We never removed him from the screen. So, welcome, TS the Aggressor.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. From Impact Pro Wrestling, a legend in the wrestling world. And he's going to come here and hang out with us and talk about next weekend's big Hall of Fame weekend, the Georgia Tragos-Lou Thesz Hall of Fame weekend in Waterloo, Iowa.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks a lot for having me, man. That's a sweet shirt. AWA. That's right up our alley. We're all kind of the Midwest boys here, and
Yeah.
big part of our history. Now in Waterloo, we partied with Nick Bockmenkel back in the day. You guys ever go to Waterloo when Nick Bockmenkel was there?
I missed it. I was not there when he was there.
Man, yeah, he was awesome. I know guys like James Jeffries, Nikki Free, Montoya X, Troy, and I. We got to hang out with him at the old Ramada bar. It was pretty stellar.
My only story with Nick Bockmenkel is me, him, and Larry Zabisco all were having a cigarette at a show in my hometown at the fairgrounds, watching the promoter fire basically Honky Tonk Man and tell him to leave because he yelled at me, and at the time I was doing radio here, so he yelled at me and the morning show co-hosts. He thought we were too close to him in the picture because he had a bum arm when he was there, and then the owner of the bar, who basically paid the money for the show at the fair that year, his little grandson went up to Honky Tonk Man and asked for an autograph, and he told him no, and like walked away.
Wow.
So after hearing those two promote, and I was standing and having a cigarette outside the tent with Nick Bockmenkel and Larry Zabisco, and both of them were just laughing, watching Honky Tonk. He was all throwing his bags at the rental car, just go speeding out of the fairgrounds and just all mad. And it was the greatest thing ever because I'm just like, this is great. I'm with Nick Bockmenkel, Larry Zabisco.
Yeah. Now, what year would that have been?
Man, that had to been anywhere from like 08 to like maybe 11. Maybe 07. I don't know. I think I started radio in Rochester in 05. And I don't know, JR, man, I was there for how many years? Had to been like 8.
You were there after I left.
Had to been like at least 8 years I was there. So it was somewhere in that stretch. And it was during my bar days, and I was like, yeah. So it was somewhere in there. I'm really bad. Again, it was in my bar days when I was DJing bars every night too. So very, very foggy memory of that era.
It's so nice to have 2 people on the show that have dementia, you and JR.
Anyway, I got to say that I feel like Nick Bockmenkel was like one of the classiest heel champions, and so many guys have modeled themselves kind of after the way that he carries himself.
Yeah, I would agree, man. I think that guy was fantastic. You know, his promos were pretty great, articulate. He kind of carried himself above everyone else. There's, I think, a ton of guys have drawn, inspiration or stolen, I guess, characteristics of how he presented himself. I thought he was really good and really good, having really good matches into his late 40s. You know, I mean, a lot of those title defenses he was having. He was in his late 40s wrestling Kurt Hennig, wrestling Hulk Hogan, and really, really carrying his side of it very well.
Yeah, very much so. So before we get into the Hall of Fame stuff, TS, why don't you tell everybody kind of like your wrestling story real quick so everyone can get up to speed? Because, man, you've been around it for a long time.
I have. I'm a 50-year-old dude now. Way past my prime. But
hang on, don't. Everybody watching, do not let him fool you with that garbage, because I've seen TS in the ring very recently, and he can go.
Man,
still go.
I got about 20 seconds, and that's about all. And then I start clutching the chest, right? But no, when I was 24 years old, I was one of these kids that I worked out real hard, and I thought if I could just get my body weight up to about 230 pounds, I'd be just big enough to be a small guy, right? So I ended up going to a local indie show. I was introduced through a game of telephone to Brad Rangens, Wayne Bloom, and Kurt Hennig, and began training in the fall of '96 with Brad Rangens in Hamel, Minnesota. So I spent weekends up there in Hamel for 4 months, working out every Saturday and Sunday. And it was great. It was fantastic. And then I got plugged into some of the local Minnesota groups that were up there. Eddie Sharkey was running a lot of shows. Then you had Adnan El Casey, Ken Patera, Keith Douglas was running World Television Wrestling at the time. Got hooked up with Harley Race in the late 90s, really right around 2000, and got to do a lot of fun stuff down in Missouri too. So just started to spread my wings in the Midwestern independents, and had a great time with it. Met a lot of great people, but started training guys just after a couple of years after I started, really just in the early 2000s. Hooked up with Troy Peterson in 2001. So I was about 4.5 years in when we got together. And boy, we just never looked back. And we hit it off so well and became such good friends. We started running a lot of shows together, had a training center that still, we started in 2006, an actual physical building where we could have students come in Algona. It ran in Algona from 2006 to 2018. We moved it down to Collins, Iowa. And James Jeffries has done just a fantastic job of taking that over and training guys down there. So we're still kicking out really quality, not just professional wrestlers, but pretty good guys to hang with and guys to go to battle with and go put on these shows and have a good time with.
That's quite
that was the condensed version, man. That was as fast as I could get it out.
But
there's a lot of crazy fun stuff in there.
Yeah. Quite the pedigree though from your training. Holy cow!
Oh yeah, I love the way I was brought in. I mean that it was really an old school AWA format. And it was a lot of wrestling on the mat, a lot of conditioning. And I'm not going to ever say that it was like a Green Beret or Division I football program type conditioning, but at the ends of our workouts, we would always do mat wrestling with Brad, who was a 2-time Pan American gold medalist. Yeah. So he would just crush us. I mean, there's nothing we could do to him, and he's had guys through there, and I'll start dropping the names like Rick Steiner and Big Van Vader and JBL and Nails and Jerry Lynn, just all kinds of guys that come through there. And so very proud to be a part of that crew. I mean, on the first day there, the first workout, I got to pummel and work out with Barry Darso. He used to be the Repo Man, Demolition Smash, Crusher Khrushchev, but a great guy and big guy, it was fantastic. That was day one. And we'd have guys come in all the time because Brad was so well connected, and Kurt and Wayne, and he just had a lot of friends up there. So you'd never know if Mike Enos would be there or Sean Waltman. I mean, there'd be guys dropping in all the time. And Kurt it was such a great time for Kurt Hennig. I was a huge Mr. Perfect fan before I ever went to train. Oh, yeah. And he worked out with it. He had such a great work ethic. I mean, man, that's something I'll take away. I mean, everybody knows about, he's such a comedian and a ribber, and he was very funny that way. But at the same time, when it came to work and working out and being serious, I mean, he really worked his ass off. And that's something that you could really take away from watching Kurt. I mean, he knew what it took to get to the highest level, and he never shied away from putting in the work to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, with all that, I can't remember. Did you ever have brushes with like WWF or E?
Not really. I talked to Jim Cornette back in like '97 when he was heading up the talent relations, and Harley hooked me up with some extra talent stuff where I got knocked out in a bar fight with the Right to Censor and the nice. APA. I don't know if you guys remember that episode where they got the cat at the strip bar in St. Louis where they tried to get the cat to strip down. And I was just an innocent security guard that got jacked by Bull Buchanan and got knocked out right between JBL and Ron Simmons. So it was great. And being with Harley, I mean, everybody treated him like the king. Yeah. Everybody backstage was super appreciative and respectful to him. So going in there with him, I mean, I had it made. It was a great experience. And Harley was so connected with Pro Wrestling Noah. They brought me in to do, and not just me, but a lot of other guys. They brought us in to do tryouts with Pro Wrestling Noah in front of Misawa, and Vader was in the ring working out with us. Nice. So there were some crazy interactions all across the way. And you guys know the more you're involved with this stuff, and in the Hall of Fame, Waterloo is one of those intersections, the crossroads where you see so many guys on the way up, and then also a lot of these guys that have paved the way. And I don't want to say on the way down, but guys that have dedicated their life to this. That's what I love about that Hall of Fame is it's a chance to honor those guys that have set the table for all of us to have such a good time with, right? I mean, these guys have sacrificed and did the work and really made it a place where, hey, now we don't have to fight people in bars every night like they used to have to do, right? I mean, but there was a time where they loved and protected the business enough to where that's how far they would take it.
Yeah, and it is. It's such a great weekend. Well, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. I assume he's talking about me, the better half of Fancy Ketchup.
I mean, if you're looking at some of the other comments, he did ask, "Who is this Joker?" And then gave my picture. So Redbeard, always knowing who the better half of Fancy Ketchup is. That's being this guy. Sorry, TS. It's Fancy Ketchup is the tag team that Ace wanted to form. I said okay too because I felt bad for the dude, and then eventually we kind of just fell out. We still bring it back every once in a while. It's one of those nostalgia acts of the show, really. But
we didn't fall out. You and JR fell out, and he was our manager.
Is there a Marty Jannetty of this duo?
Yeah,
it's top shelf. 100%.
I joke about that. I was a Marty Jannetty fan, man. I like that guy.
Yeah, I never had a problem with that guy. All right, so let's get into it. Well, first of all, TS, if someone came up to you and they're like, what is this Hall of Fame you speak of? Like, how would you describe what the George Tragos-Lou Thesz Hall of Fame weekend is?
I would try to describe it as a multi-day event. You know, it's not just a wrestling show on Friday night, and it's not just a banquet on Saturday night where there's candid speeches and inductions and awards given and things on Saturday, but it is from essentially Thursday through Saturday, a celebration of people who've dedicated their lives to the business of professional wrestling and honoring them, and really a celebration of that. People like-minded across the Midwest, across the country. Hell, we've had people there from multiple countries, not just for the talent evaluations, but to come and enjoy the weekend, so to speak. And that's what it is. It's not a singular event. It is a weekend. It is a package. And that all access pass that gets sold now sounds like I'm on an infomercial or something. You know, the all access pass. I mean, it does include access to the round table discussions and the meet and greets and autograph signings and the show and the banquet and everything that's going on. And it's really unique. And for those of you that have been there, you know the setup where the museum, the proximity, the walking distance of the proximity, to the museum, the venue, the show venue, the Waterloo Convention Center, the Best Western hotel where most of the people are staying, and then all of the local eating and drinking establishments. You know, everything's just so close. It's like, hey, you park your car, you can walk everywhere you need to go, and you're going to run into guys like Mark Henry and Edge and Beth Phoenix and Trish Stratus and JBL and Jim Ross, and you know, just in casual meetings going up and down the elevator. I mean, I'm not saying hang out in the elevator, but you're going to run into. I mean, hell,
don't be that guy.
Actually.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Yeah, I was pretty stoked to be sitting across the hall or from Magnum TA a few years ago. You know,
yeah.
Or on the same floor as Sergeant Slaughter. You know, I mean,
yeah,
those things are cool. You know, I mean, yeah, those guys were. You know, I'm a huge fan of wrestling. You know, like so many of us that get into it. So yeah, it's great and humbling to be around these guys that have lived their life in it.
Yeah, I remember doing my first podcast with Wes, like with an audience, and we were supposed to have Beth Phoenix as our guest, and we never got confirmation. Like she had told us months before, like I'll do it, anything for Wes, but then we never heard from her again. And then she that weekend was like, I'm sorry, I missed your message, but yes, I'm doing it. But we didn't know. So like, I think Wes had asked Jerry, like, Dad, you got to help out. Next thing I know, like we had, like, I'm just sitting there, all of a sudden Slaughter's next to me and he's like, hey, how's it going? I'm just like, wait, what? And then it was him, Thunderbolt, Jerry, Beth, James, and Slaughter. I don't remember. Well, and then Jerry was like pinching my leg, telling me to like Ken Patera and all them, like, hey, ask him to tell this story. And it was just me and Wes were like, this was way too much for our first show ever in front of a crowd. But it was just, as a fan, it's like, I remember going that first weekend just to go and having a good time. And then it was like, look, yeah, I'm sitting next to these great legends now. You know,
boy, the first one I ever did was in back when the museum was in Newton. They had ran Harley came in and had ran a show in Newton, and you know, and then of course they moved to Waterloo. It's just a huge upgrade. I mean, nothing there, you know, it wasn't like anything was wrong with Newton, but I think it's a huge facelift to the whole presentation of not just the museum, but then of course the weekend has just grown exponentially. I mean, it's been fantastic. You know, you take a guy like Chad Olson, Corey Olson, guys that have been around for quite a while and been to all of these banquets and, you know, never missed a banquet in however long it's been, 15, 20 years, you know, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's grown.
Yeah, and speaking of facelift, the event center completely redone last year. The hotel completely redone. The Best Western, which if any of you have been to this before that hotel was redone, it was a whole different kind of vibe in that hotel.
Jim Ross referred to it in one of his MC moments as the 80s themed hotel. But no, it's great. I mean, we've had battles in the past with air conditioning and stuff, but I tell you, that convention center, I mean, the bar at the Best Western's fantastic. The food was fantastic, and then the actual venue in the convention center, they completely redid the lighting in there. I mean, it really looks like the production that we have on the wrestling show part of it is something that we get so rarely at our level, right? I mean, that is something that, they make the show look about it as well produced and as good as we can possibly make our guys look.
Yeah, and it was a blast. And last year, I got the pleasure of being on commentary for the very first time for the Hall of Fame show. So that was a blast for me to be, again, a whole new direction coming down, where I used to just come down as a big fan and hang out. And I actually remember you were one of my first interviews that we did with my other podcast the very first year we were down there. Yeah, I remember that because you let us go in the ring, and we were so happy we got pictures of us in the ring.
Now, have you ever gone to the banquets, or have you done quite a few banquets?
Yeah, I've done. We didn't very first time I went. We didn't really know. We just kind of were like, oh, I think we stood to the side and recorded it or something. I don't remember. But then the next year I started going, and yeah, I don't think I've missed a banquet since.
Yeah, I love it. Just like the WWE Hall of Fame speeches and stuff too. These guys get up there and speak from the heart and tell their stories. That's such a big part of the weekend. And there's been so many years where I haven't been able to, whether we have another show conflict or something where I take off and miss that banquet. But this year I'm all in. So I'm going to be there pretty much from Thursday till Sunday, and fired up to take in the whole weekend. And that banquet's a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, last year, I thought I love the fact that Mark Henry was there, because I just absolutely love that man. But I was absolutely floored by the speech that Ken Shamrock gave. It was something that I did not expect from him at all, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, it's been a blast, guys. Just in case you're wondering, some of the names that have gone through this whole Hall of Fame weekend: Beth Copeland, Beth Phoenix, Bruno Sammartino, Owen Hart's in it, Dan Severin, Bob Backlund, Dusty Rhodes, Iron Sheik. That was a fun day. I got to run sound for Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund podcast.
Holy
that was
shit.
crazy. Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, Gorilla Monsoon, Nick Bowwinkle, we talked about him earlier, Paul Fashan, Carl Gotch, Ricky Steamboat, Piper. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of these amazing names in the wrestling world.
And we've had some amazing guys come in for the talent seminar. I remember years ago we had Terry Funk and Mick Foley come in together. Think of the opportunities that wrestlers all across the country, or all across the world rather, would love to have a chance to just, hey, there's 24 people getting to work out with these guys, and you get to pick their brain and get the one-on-one instruction from them. And man, just fantastic. But, in dropping the names of who's all been through there, and you had a really impressive rundown of guys. But to me, the year that the Steiner brothers and DDP came, that was a huge year too. Randy Couture from the freaking Expendables, and a multi-time UFC two weight class champion. Randy Couture's at the same time as the Steiner brothers and DDP. It was pretty awesome.
And he brought his girlfriend, who was a whole nother attraction on the other end of that. I don't know if you remember.
I must have missed that. Nah.
She's like some B-list movie star. Like, oh, it was hilarious. Anyways, very nice. But it was, dude, that was cool, though. I do remember that, meeting Randy Couture and Booker when he was there. That was very cool. Yeah. Man, it's just, Edge was my favorite, and the only reason why is he literally let us interview him for like 45 minutes after the banquet ceremony. Like at 45 minutes, he was like, "You guys good? Or you want to go a little longer?" We were like, "No, we're good, man. Like we thought we were getting 10 minutes with you."
Yeah, no, he was great. I mean, he was very respectful to the guys wrestling too, which he really didn't need to be. If people, I mean, that's kind of what it is. If people are there to get autographs and photo ops and stuff, that we want to encourage that, But Edge didn't want to detract while the show was going on. While guys are in the ring wrestling, he did not want to take away from that, so he stayed backstage and came out when the action in the ring wasn't going on. So
Yeah.
I mean, which is respectful to the guys that are out there busting their butts, but at the same time, we do encourage, hey, whatever the fans want to take from that event, we encourage it. If you want the photo ops and those once in a lifetime opportunities to meet these guys, I mean, that's your chance to do that too. So we don't want to ever discourage that engagement.
Yeah, definitely. So let's kind of go down the list here of what we got. Well, first of all, here's the names for this year. Here's some of the names that are going to be there this year, in case you guys are wondering. J.J. Dillon, Jerry Briscoe, Wes Briscoe, Cole Cabana, Jonathan Grisham, Dan Spivey, the Frank Gotch Award, Mike Rotunda being inducted into the Hall of Fame, Trish Stratus with the Lou Thesz Award, Jim Ross getting the Gordon Soley Award, very first time this is being given out, first recipient. Jim Ross. You also have James Beard, Thunderbolt Patterson, Baron Von Raschke, Brian B. Blair. Just announced today, Too Cold Scorpio, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is going to be just amazing. So it starts off third. If you have the All Access Pass, which help them out, guys, get it by Friday so they can count on you for the banquet. They're trying to get numbers. So please get your All Access Pass by Friday if you haven't already. Thursday night, you get that free kickoff party with pizza and drinks, and that's at the Dan Gable Museum. And man, that pizza was delicious. Just saying, it was from across the street last year.
Doughie Joey's. I think it's from Doughie Joey's, isn't it?
Yeah, that place is
a Waterloo
great.
icon.
Yeah, so good. Excited for that again. And then we go across the street for a little wrestling trivia, meet and greet social, really just wrestling trivia. And then it's just like a cool hangout with everyone who's there that decides to go to the place where they do trivia, which is the hotel, the restaurant and bar in the hotel. And it's a fun time. And let me tell you, that trivia, not that easy.
Oh, it's great. It's such a great time forming teams with people and trying to recruit guys. I try to recruit guys like James Beard, man. I mean, the guy that's lived it and toured the world as one of the greatest referees in the history of the business, and I always try to recruit James Beard to my team. And of course, if you remember this too, Dave, a lot of these teams are named or themed after the great James Jeffries.
They are. This is true.
But no, it's a good time. It's a really festive, fun setting. And I tell you, they do their homework on these trivia questions. It's pretty challenging.
So JR, I mean, he's basically a historian. Like, so when we went last year, I was like, dude, JR is
hold on. Is he a historian because he's lived through fucking every bit of history, or is it just because he actually might know something?
Just both. From the 60s on forward.
So I figured he was like going to be A's in the hole, and I think we gave up after the third question.
Well, we never
really sign up. We were just answering at the table.
We were feeling out the competition to see what was going on. I mean, there was some stuff that was pretty rough, but I mean, there was also some stuff that was old that a lot of the younger guys wouldn't have known. I mean, unless they were reading books about it, stuff like. I remember one of the questions was they showed a picture of the Omni in Atlanta and said, "What is this building?" And I'm like, "That's the Omni," and. And nobody, I mean, it's like there were a handful of people that knew, but it's like that's way old,
Yeah.
That is a common question too. Is that every year that I've seen them do trivia, they'll have at least one venue. It might be a black and white picture or something, but I mean, those are brutal. I mean, that's tough. It was. I mean, obviously you got it, but I had no idea, and I love the Georgia Championship Wrestling days on TBS, but I had no clue what that was.
Yeah, shit's hard, Tommy. It sucked. I thought I was like, I'm going to be all right at this. And I was
we shall see.
Yeah, I guess, man. If you can help out, man, go for it. But
I'm going to have my own team. I don't want to be part of your fucking team.
No, you're on our team. No one else wants you. You've pissed off most everybody else in Iowa, remember?
Thank God it's still Iowa. Why would I want to have them as my friends?
Maybe you could be on a team called the Waiter.
Boy, that's a great joke there, JR. Holy shit. Just fucking hit that one out of the park.
Not a joke.
Quit picking on Senior, okay?
Why?
So that's Thursday night. Then we go to Friday. Now, this is where things have changed up a little bit this year, guys. So 11 o'clock Podcast Collective. It's going to be a roundtable of podcasts where I believe it will go. You guys will all talk about your show. Then they'll talk about like the current landscape of podcasting, and then a Q&A, and then there'll also be like meet and greet and merch options for all the people included on this podcast roundtable. I know Zach Takes from Shotgun Radio said he is part of this. We're pretty sure you two are on it. I guess we haven't got confirmation, but I'm just saying you guys are on it. Might just steal some chairs and put them up there. Don't get mad, TS.
Hey, this is your format, man. I mean, that's just, if nothing else, it should be payback for helping us out and get the word out about the event, right?
Yeah, just take Zach's mic if you need it, if they don't have one for you.
I was going to say, between Tom and I, we can muscle Zach out of it anyway. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say, I hope that at this podcast collective that there's a certain wrestler that is not allowed in the room while we're doing it, because I think he's going to try to kick me in the balls.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, Bryce has already made the comment here. The Top Shelf Boys, and Bryce, it's always good to have you here, man.
You know, Travis, I don't know about you. I feel like Bryce Jordan, the Golden Boy, is very talented. And when we found out last week that he is going to face Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham, which I think is fantastic.
Huge match.
But I still think that the Golden Boy is a pain in the ass. And I've had this issue with him ever since he just walked out of the ring on Jackson King, who was a friend of the show, and now he threatens to kick me in the balls every time. And it's like, and he ducks me all the time. He shows up at stuff and he's, "Where were you?" And I'm like, "Well, I was nowhere close, you know." And
I didn't know about this ball kicking. I mean, I didn't realize there was so much heat with the Golden God.
I try not to bring it up when I'm at the shows since JR's not been with me the last few times. But yeah, these two like to go at it. Was it last week him and Shank were on here and you two were going at it again?
Yes.
The thing is, I didn't think he was in the room. Of course, they pulled that kind of crap on me. I'm talking about because he was up here in our neck of the woods wrestling Ethan Everhart. And he didn't mention it to us. He didn't remind us. I would have gone and watched because I would certainly support Ethan Everhart. And then all out of nowhere, he pops in the room and says, "Oh, what'd you do? Chicken out? You didn't show up." And I did like when you were training guys, do you train him to kick in the balls, or was that just something he picked up on his own?
Yeah, we kind of get him in a turnbuckle and spend about two hours straight just punting that second turnbuckle. Sometimes you throw a feint, get the eyes up high, and then come in low. You know, I mean, get their eyes up high, a little misdirection, a little magic, and then sneak one in.
And what Jared doesn't know is that we have Bryce Jordan right here, right now.
Oh. You know, talking about Bryce Jordan, talking about Waterloo. I mean, you guys saw his match with the Big Picture last year, right? I mean, to me, that was absolutely fantastic. What a great contrast in just the smaller Bryce Jordan taking on this huge Big Picture, and the way they handled that. It was really good. I really enjoyed that.
He broke the longest reigning title streak that night. And now he gets ROH champ Jonathan Gresham, and he says TS gets it. TS gets it. But here's the thing, Bryce and JR, it will all come ahead in Waterloo. There's no way around it. You guys are both going to be there. So things may get interesting at the Best Western that weekend. We'll find out. We will find out. We got the round table. Now, usually we have the tournament That's not happening this year. Instead, there will be a game tournament, like a wrestling, I think, card game. But then there's going to be some roundtable discussions, a live podcast at 3 p.m., which I believe is Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. Now, also going on during this time, if you yourself are a wrestler, there is a seminar, I believe, going on. Am I right?
That is true. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of highly decorated guys involved with this seminar too. And Jonathan Gresham's a part of that, but Jim Ross, Jerry Briscoe, and James Beard, I know they're all heavily involved in putting input in on that too. Thunderbolt Patterson will be around. I mean, yeah, just fantastic. When you start talking about some of the names that are involved with some of this stuff, I mean, you hate to forget anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those talent evaluations and seminars that we've done for many years now have been very valuable to a lot of these guys, just to get the most out of your efforts. As far as being a wrestler and wanting to go out there and work your ass off, you want to get the most out of every ounce of sweat you put into this. And I think that's what these seminars are great for, to gain perspective and broaden your horizons a little bit and get some real different eyes on you, some very experienced eyes on you, and help you along that way.
Yeah, that's going to be real cool. So is that shut down now, or can wrestlers still get in it if they want?
That I'm not sure. I would say if there's still people want to be involved with that, I mean, they just have to reach out to Troy Peterson, our promoter for Impact Pro Wrestling, and a member of the Hall of Fame committee there too, and certainly trying to get everybody who wants an opportunity to be a part of that in there.
Definitely. So, guys, if you are watching and you yourself want to go down there, you're a wrestler and you want to check out this seminar, there you go. Check it out. IPW Troy Peterson. If for any reason you can't get through that, just send us a message on our 2 count stuff and we'll get you connected. But which, by the way, happy birthday to Troy Peterson. It was advertised he was going to be here tonight.
Absolutely. I am. The card is always subject to change.
Right.
Birthdays come out of nowhere, man. What the hell's the guy to do?
This is true. I would go for steak dinner over this as well.
I mean, the guy forgot his own fucking birthday.
It's a busy time. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
Well, and so real quick before we get back to the Hall of Fame weekend, you guys are in the thick of like fair season too, which is always a busy season for IPW.
Absolutely. It's such a fun time, and getting to go out there and show different groups of people what we do best. And that is go out there. And what I love about it sometimes too is, it's great to have the episodic format of some of the shows where people know the good guys, the bad guys, and they know your entrance music. And that's fantastic too. But I love it when nobody knows who you are and you have a chance to set the table from the second you walk out of that curtain, and whatever their expectations are, just try to blow people away, and the greatest things we've done, try to use all of our experiences and everything we've done to this point to give us our best possible performance on that one night in front of these county fairs. But yeah, we just came off Saturday doing that Taco Margarita Festival down there in Des Moines. We had it wasn't our show, but we had our ring down there and had some of our guys there. But we're really fired up this Saturday when we do a doubleheader, one show in Pocahontas County and one show in Jasper County. We got 2 different crews, and we stacked the deck on both of these shows. I mean, so very, very excited to get to these towns. I mean, Pocahontas we did last year. They're bringing us back. Had a really good time there. Jimmy Wilde just tore it up. AJ Smooth, those guys. Gable Galileo just tore it up last year in Pocahontas. And this year we get to go to Jasper County. That's the first time there. But then, we go on to West Liberty. We go to before that on Monday, we go to Knoxville, Marion County. Then we're at West Liberty. Then we're at Cherokee. We're at Waterloo. Then we roll right into a Ragbri show back in the town of Pocahontas. Then we're into Iowa City, Columbus Junction, and wrap it up in Lamar's, Iowa on the 29th. So yeah, it's quite, and we got one out in the mountain time zone in Box Butte, Nebraska as well. Wow. Just a lot of things going on. And this year, actually, I mean, to be out in all honesty, is a little down from where we've been in the past. Some of these fairs take a year off and try to mix up their talent, which is understandable, but we've got such a strong history and connections with a lot of these fairs that hopefully giving good service to these fairs just is a great audition for future business with other places. I'm going to and we appreciate the fact they're taking a chance on us, bringing us in. So we're going to try to knock it out of the park and give them exactly what they're paying for. And hopefully they're begging us to come back and recommending us to every other fair board that talks to them.
Yeah, most definitely. Have you always done a show for the Ragbri?
And Ragbri is it just depends on where it is. We've done a few of those. we had a really big one in, where was that? Dallas County, I think. It was huge. They said it was the largest non-stayover town gathering in the history of Ragbri. And I want to say it was maybe 2013 or 14.
Wow.
Maybe it was 15, but it was huge. Thousands of people. They said they sold $28,000 worth of Bud Light Tall Boys by noon. It was crazy, like 7,000 cans of Bud Light, just Bud Light. And they had mixers and T-shirts, and it was a cash register. So sometimes lightning strikes with things like that, and it was fantastic. That we blocked off our intersection where the ring was right on the street, and we got some great photos of that where it's just a sea of humanity. At our level, it's kind of a dream come true. But we followed up the next year. I think we did one in Terrell, Iowa, up in northeast or northwest Iowa, and so yeah, we've certainly done that type of thing before. We've done the Bacon Festival. That's always, we've done that a couple different times, and but that's what we're looking at. Any type of civic event, fundraiser, or county fairs, anything that falls into those categories of places just wanting to put people together and give them entertainment that maybe you can't do with a musical act, where you can't bring your kids and really enjoy it and engage it the way you can professional wrestling, where it's interactive and engaging like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just stop real quick here and acknowledge that HCW Sports, our good friend Heartland Championship Wrestling, acknowledges the fact that I can put the drinks down. So, again, you guys are all worried about me challenging Malice to a drinking competition, man, but I got people in the chat who have faith in me like they should. So I just want to make sure I point that out real quick.
I have faith you're going to die in a hotel room because you didn't.
I don't even think he's going to make it to the hotel room.
I'm pretty certain this is not the first time during one of these weekends that somebody's died in the hotel room. Okay.
Well, let's not do it now that they redid the hotel, though.
I'm gonna be the new ghost then of the fucking Best Western in Waterloo
Iowa. Memorial Suite.
Hey man, it's a nice hotel now, like haunted up. Like
that's right.
It's pretty. The breakfast by far was the best. One of my favorite improvements last year. It was like, wait, we actually get breakfast now, and it's decent for
they had a nice buffet spread there, right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, this Malice challenge, I think a guy ought to work his way up. I think you got to start small.
What? So with you, or what are we talking about here?
Well, I'm definitely below Malice. That's for sure. When it comes to the drinking champion of Impact Pro Wrestling, I'm not gonna scratch the surface there. But we got I wouldn't even go against Justin Decent, man. But you got to work your way. Bryce Jordan might be a good guy to target. Jimmy Wilde, Bryce Jordan. Take a guy that isn't as big and heavy like a Malice, because man, that guy is well prepared for the game.
If you're worried about me somehow being a small guy, I'm no ace here. Okay, I'm a big boy myself, 6'2", damn near 300 pounds. So like. I can throw him back. I don't know why everybody thinks this is somehow not going to be a fair fight between Malice and myself on a drinking challenge. Because
no one said it's not going to be a fair fight. You're just not going to win.
It'll be fair.
That's all.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
And hey, you may take him a good distance.
How do you know who actually wins a drinking competition? By the way,
because he'll still be standing and drinking when you're done
and telling jokes, and you'll be sitting in a chair going blah 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 blah.
It's like it doesn't faze him. It's very odd.
All right. You know what? We're done talking about this right now. Okay. We can talk about it again another time, maybe, but we're done talking about the fact that I'm going to wipe the floor with Malice and drink competition and pull apparently the underdog championship out of my ass yet again to save your fucking asses, because Lord knows somebody has to talk up the show when they're not fucking on the show. You dummies. Sorry, TS. That was a little out of line, but
I could care less if you get.
I want to make sure that these two guys understand, who the real draw is around here and stuff. And you're a great guest, but again,
thank you.
You're still good.
But I'm a last second replacement, man. I know my place.
No,
We'd much rather have you on than Tom.
You act like this is our first interview ever with me and you together, TS. We were talking, like I said, one of my first ever interviews in Waterloo was you. Again, all right, so we're getting back to this Friday live podcast, 3 o'clock, Colt Cabana. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. Something he's not done in Waterloo, and he's been at almost all of these, if not all of them.
Yeah, quite a few.
Right. So it'll be cool to actually get the Colt Cabana podcast this time around. I'm very excited to see that. And then 6 o'clock, the big Impact Pro Wrestling show. I don't have the match listing in front of me. Do you happen to know it off the top of your head?
I know a lot of them, man. I know a lot of them I'm looking forward to. And we talked about the Golden God taking on the Ring of Honor champion. I mean, that's huge. But you also have a guy by the name of Jeremy Wyatt taking on the Big Picture. And I love that matchup too, because, you know, if you guys are fans of Jeremy Wyatt, just a very unique guy, very smooth in the ring, a very unique guy, but going up against a bruiser in the Big Picture. I think that's a really strong matchup. You got AJ Smooth challenging the champion, James Jeffries. And these two guys, and we talk about history and Hall of Fame and Impact Pro Wrestling. I mean, these guys both have a lot of years and a lot of experience, and they're still young guys, but and their paths haven't crossed. As ironic as it is for us being a group that runs so frequently and all across the state, they haven't crossed paths that many times, really. And so this will be a really great test and such a great platform for these guys to showcase what they do best. You know, but yeah, then you got Ethan Everhart, and he's squaring off against Colt Cabana. You know, I mean, so some big matches. And then you've got the local gal from the museum, Becca Roper, taking on Miss Frankie J one-on-one. So, just a lot of great matchups there.
With that women's match, two things worth noting. Now, this is the return match for Miss Frankie, or is she doing anything during the fair? Or will this be her match back?
You know what? This might be. I mean, she probably will have some matches before we get to Waterloo. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible.
But definitely
plugged into the fairs.
Okay, but definitely has not been in action for a little while now, so it's going to be good to see her back in the ring. And in case you guys don't know who Becca Roper is, like TS said, she is one of the people who run the Dan Gable Museum where this Hall of Fame weekend happens. And what's very cool is Becca actually trained to do an amateur wrestling match this year and actually competed against another female amateur wrestler and is now going to make her leap into the pro wrestling world. So very cool. Someone who's been around the last couple of years for the Hall of Fame weekend and is always a huge help. If you're at the museum and you have a question and she's around, she'll always help out. Knows everything about the world of wrestling. Like, it's amazing.
And her husband, not to cut you off there, Ace, but her husband's an assistant coach, wrestling coach at UNI. I mean, he's a badass. You know,
man.
He's highly decorated too. So, she's an amateur athlete. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when she squares off with Miss Frankie J, who's going to be hyped. I mean, I don't know if you guys were there for Miss Frankie J when she took on Victoria.
One of my favorite matches I've ever seen at Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You know, just great. You know, that's what's funny. You just go down that rabbit hole of great moments as a wrestling fan in Waterloo. Just watch some of the matches that have been showcased there.
That one, Sammy Callahan and Ricochet.
There you go.
Tore the house down one year,
and then followed by James Jeffries and Justin Decent in a cage.
Right. And then last year, honestly, one of my favorite matches I saw all year last year, Jeremy Wyatt, Josh C. I believe it was the final for the tournament. Just a fantastic match. Just a great match. Wow.
And there's some great matches, you know, just in that tournament earlier in the day. Now granted, this year we're not doing the tournament format, but you know, there's just strong wrestling all throughout that show. You know, we always do the big battle royal too. That's kind of a tradition. The Thesz Cup battle royal, always a big part of that show as well. You know, and I'm sure, if we pull the card up or something too, I'm just trying to go off my memory. Those are just some of the things that stuck out with me. And I think we just recently announced Too Cold Scorpio one-on-one with Jackson King.
That's right. The Lone Diamond.
You know, we just had it was a few months back, but we had Too Cold Scorpio in for a seminar, and he tagged up with Malice, I believe, as his partner. I mean, that guy can still go. I mean, he's certainly not afraid of heights and flying up to that top rope. I mean, that's crazy.
Very, very much so. And then there's also, I'm going to try to find it right now, but there's also a big tag match going on, as well as the
it's like
always
4 teams,
fun.
right?
Yeah, and then also the always fun. It's the Lou Thesz Battle Royal.
Yes. Yeah, I think we have some type of scramble too with some of the high flying guys too, don't we? That's always pretty chaotic. I think, yeah, you've got just a ton of talent this thing. So you've got a 4-way tag match. I mean, it's just something crazy. And then you've got this huge battle royal, a huge scramble, and and then all these singles matches, and it's crazy. I think man, you can't hardly have a bad time if you like wrestling and like hanging around other people with the like-minded purpose of enjoying a professional wrestling weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So it was IPW tag team title match. We've got Ricky Bronson teaming up with the Shank, which will be very interesting. We got Chileo in there.
Oh, yeah.
Champions, Death Dealer and Justin Decent, and a team, former IPW tag team champions, teaming up once again. The Beast, Malice, and Wes Briscoe going to be teaming up once again. And then you have the Anything Goes match: Maddie Starr versus Cole Cannon versus Jimmy Wilde versus Zeke Dynamics versus Clay Cooper versus Sparrow.
That's just crazy. I mean, that's so loaded with guys. I mean, Maddie Starr is one of the best guys we've ever had. But then you've got guys like Clay Cooper and Zeke Dynamics that are just fantastic, acrobatic athletes. Cole Cannon, unbelievably athletic. Sparrow. I mean, Sparrow's been fantastic, super charismatic, and just awesome. To put all those guys into one of these matches. Who did I miss anybody on that? Sparrow, Maddie Starr, Cole Cannon, Zeke Dynamics, Clay Cooper. Is it those 5?
Jimmy Wilde. Well, wait.
Jimmy Wilde. Jimmy Wilde.
Is he back yet?
No, he is not.
Okay, so this was put up. I'm reading this, but
Jimmy Wilde has a torn ACL, so he's got to get that repaired. So he is, really terrible for a guy. He's such a young guy, so he's got so much time ahead of him. I mean, he's recently turned 21, for crying out loud. So,
dude,
he's got a lot of time ahead of him. I mean, he started extremely young, but just fantastic. Last year's Fair Show circuit. I mean, that guy was so dominant and just really showed well. I mean, he looked like a guy that should be main eventing NXT takeovers. Just really impressive. I mean, I just love watching him. So, it's a shame for me as a fan to not see that guy out there.
Yeah, we love Jimmy Wilde here. He's been on here a few times, so we love that guy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So hopefully, good speedy recovery for him. Yeah, we were with him that night, and that was just a bum deal. So we were all there. Terrible. So, and Tommy, I'm sure you still have a chop coming from him.
Probably. I mean, it's been due since well before Full Gear, and he didn't find me. Again, I think he's ducking me. Bryce Jordan can talk all he wants as far as JR ducking him, which for good reason, because JR is ducking the Golden God. But I think Jimmy Wilde is just ducking me because he understands that chop has a receipt coming too. Just saying. Saying.
You'll lose that one too. Again, a great night of action going down Impact Pro Wrestling. Also, what's cool about that show is they do a pretty good intermission in there, because there's a lot of people that you'll have a chance to go see. A lot of the people who are in attendance will be there at a table, so you can go get your meet and greets done. It's I don't know who's all going to be down there officially that night, but most of them come out and will hang out down at the show. So it's pretty cool. You'll get to meet a lot of them down there, especially if you can't make it for the whole weekend. It's cool that you still get to see some of the people getting inducted that next night, because they'll be at the show. And it's just a fun time. We haven't talked a whole lot about this, but I assume we're going to do what we did last year. I assume I'll be doing some commentary, and we're going to get it all on video for you. And hopefully it will be better than last year, because we're better at it now. But we're going to get that all done for you and have a good time at that show. And then the following that, we go across the street to the after party for Doughy Joe's Pizza, and that's a good time too. If you've not partied with the IPW crew, you probably should.
Yeah, let it all hang out, man.
It's a good time.
Yeah, look at me. Take a good hard look at this face, man. I'm 25.
Yep.
You know, yeah. But but no, it's a great time. You know, it's such a great time to embrace the community that is not just Impact Pro Wrestling, but pro wrestling in general, and all the people such as you guys, all the contributors to what it is we all enjoy. So yeah, it's just a great time to really embrace all of it.
Yeah, very, very fun times. And then the next day, again, if you have that all access pass, you get to go to all this. If you don't, you can buy a ticket, I'm assuming.
Right.
But
everything's separately ticketed as well. But I mean, who would
Yep.
piss around with that? Just get an all access, do whatever you want, come and go whenever you want.
Exactly. But if you don't do that, definitely make sure you buy a ticket to the Briscoe and Big A show.
Yeah, there you go. And everything just real quickly understand too, whatever the ticket price is, it's all for a nonprofit charitable, it's for a museum, right? I mean, it's nothing more than a donation. I mean, we're just trying to give back with that. So always keep that in mind too, that any money that's passing hands is really going to the museum.
And what's cool is you can see that direct effect when you go, because just a few short years ago, it didn't look like what it looks like now. They did some really cool renovations, expansion, and I mean, you see where all that money goes, and you see what it's doing for that place and what that place does for the community and for the sport of wrestling, pro and amateur. So it really is. It's all for a great cause, and that's another reason why this weekend's so much fun, because not a lot of people are here trying to just make money like maybe some of the other conventions. Everybody's here because it's for a good reason, and we're honoring some people. So that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, one thing I would say, I would really encourage people to go into the museum. You know, so there's a lot of things that happen outside the museum, and there's some events that happen inside the museum, but make the effort, go inside the museum and check it out. Check it all out. I mean, there's just so much there to take in. There's a pro wrestling wing, of course. There's tons of amateur stuff, tons of Dan Gable, Iowa wrestling history, amateur wrestling history. You know, there's just so much there to really open your eyes to how big this really is.
Yeah, it really is. It's awesome. And Saturday they're going to do a bunch of events there. Kat, you really messing me up. Oof. Discount. And now you're taking my cable. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. His new thing is he wants to be in front of me where the screen is. So a lot of events go on throughout the day, some roundtables, Q&As, meet and greets. That all kicks off at 11. Real quick, shameless plug, noon Saturday, the Briscoe and Big A show live. We may announce the guest next week. If not, it's going to be a surprise, which means we're still figuring it out, but there'll be someone there with us. That's how Wes and I roll, you know. But no, it's going to be a good time. Both of us are very, very excited. Little known fact is that is where we met and became buddies, and that is where actually the show started. The very first episode ever of our Briscoe and Big A show, like 150 episodes ago, was done in a hotel room in Waterloo, me, him, and Brian Cage. That is what kicked that whole world off. And I've been best friends with Wes Briscoe ever since. And boy, has that been a ride. Love that guy. Love that guy. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, to cap it all off, Saturday night, the big Hall of Fame ceremony where you're going to see Jim Rosh, Trish Stratus, Mike Rotunda, Dan Spivey, all of them get their inductions. Again, it's always cool to see the speeches. JR said it. Ken Shamrock had a great one last year. Edge had a great one. I'm trying to remember back. It's been so many.
Booker T. I heard Booker T's was really good. You know, the ones I really liked. Like I say, Stan Hansen. Was a great one, and really, the Steiner brothers. You know, just really. And I told the guys who were there that if you watch the WWE's version of their, I mean. The Waterloo one was way better. I mean, they were kind of joking around during the WWE one, and that's fine, whatever. But it was really emotional in Waterloo for Scott Steiner in particular. I thought it was great. You know, it was fantastic.
Thunderbolt Patterson, we got to see him, and man, I love listening to that man talk. Thunderbolt can still talk, and I love it. It's a great weekend. You guys, $130 is your all access pass. Again, 2 meals and all of these events. And like TS said, Everything's within like 3 blocks. You don't really have to drive once you're there the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It's just tons of fun. Everybody's walking around, they're hanging out. We're going to be up to a bunch of shenanigans. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, content for everybody. Shoot, you may even see TS pop up on some of our social media that weekend as a surprise with all of us or some of us or however it goes. I know we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be a blast. So before we cut you loose, TS, let's go with this. What's your favorite memory from all the Hall of Fame weekends you've been to?
Yeah, I want to have 2 of them. One of them is very selfish. I got to do a Legends Lumberjack match where I wrestled Nikki Free for the belt, but it was cool that I had Lumberjacks on the babyface side where Dan Severn, Road Warrior Animal, Baron Von Raschke, and Danny effing Hodge. And it was one where Baron put the claw to Nikki Free on the outside. When he let him go, Danny Hodge laid him out. It was just such a great moment for me personally. But as a fan, I came back. We had a county fair show that when the Sammy Callahan Ricochet match was going on. After that, the steel cage match between Justin Decent and James Jeffries, where James won the title from Justin there. I mean, to me, that's a great one. I got to see that probably the last half of that match and to be there for that moment. JJ Dillon's in his corner and putting that belt on him. We got a nice picture of JJ putting that belt on with Troy, and I applaud him in the background. I love that picture, and I love that moment. Just for us personally, I mean, we've just been friends for such a long time, and to know all the work that Troy and Caroline Peterson put into this event, and Chad Olson and James and Nicole Jeffries. There's just so many people put their hand in the pile to make this event go. There's so much detail and discussion and collaboration and compromise that go into making these 3 days happen. And very thankful for their efforts, but it's certainly worth. I would encourage everybody who's a fan of pro wrestling, come give this weekend destination event a chance, and you'll be wanting to come back.
That's right. Hashtag bring a friend, as Mr. Briscoe always says.
That's right.
Hey, should we have Travis do the Tom game?
Yeah, we could do that.
What the hell is that?
Here comes the intro.
It's real
That's
simple.
all we have to the intro, but it's kind of
It's a work in progress. It's nice.
Yes. So it's real simple. I'm sure you played or have heard of the game Fuck, Marry, Kill. This is similar in a lot of ways, but not obviously those. This is tag. Who do you want to be your tag team partner? Who do you want to be your opponent? And then who among us 3 do you want to be your manager in a perfect situation?
We're keeping stats on this.
Tag team partner. I mean, I'm gonna pick a guy that probably no one else would pick, and I would be Sid Vicious.
No, we went out.
No. You got to pick from the 3 of us, though.
Oh,
yeah.
man, I thought it was like a dream tag team partner. I want Sid Vicious, man.
You can do that too.
No. This is our cheap way of making all of our guests.
One of you guys has got to be a tag team partner. One's got to be an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sid Vicious is a good choice for a tag team.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
Psycho
I was all excited. I was really fired up. But
I should have just let you go so we could have heard the rest of that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So tag team partner first.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll take Big Ace as my tag team partner.
All right.
Big Ace, managed by JR, because I love the ponytail.
Yes.
And then opponent, I got to go with the big guy, the drinking champion from up north, Top Shelf. I don't want any easy cupcakes, man. We want to take on some challenges. So let's start at the top of the ladder against Top Shelf.
There it is.
Go.
So you started with Sid Vicious.
Yeah, let's
when
see
you
what that
thought
fantasy
it
was
was
gonna be.
dream. I'd love to hear your dream of that game.
Oh yeah. I mean, I really manager wise, I always loved Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan. Those guys were great. But Sid Vicious is a tag team partner out, and really as an opponent, I'd love to get in there with one of my idols growing up. Kurt Hennig would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But and that's just of course. But I love guys like Tommy Rich, Great Muta, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, a lot of guys that are just guys that I idolized and really enjoyed watching. But hell, we've got our own version of that now, because I get such a kick out of watching a lot of the current guys that are out there now.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much talent.
Yeah, Yeah, I've been saying it for a while now. The Midwest is just killing the game right now with wrestling. There's just so much talent in the Midwest right now.
Yeah, there really is. It makes
watch.
booking this stuff pretty easy because these guys are such strong personalities and athletes. Hell, you can't only screw it up. You throw the names in a hat, pull them out. You got a pretty good show.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. Well, TS, we're not going to take any more of your time. We appreciate you coming by and telling everybody about the big Hall of Fame weekend. Again, that's going down July 21st through the 23rd. So just about a week and a half, guys, and we're going to all be down in Waterloo hanging out. We can't wait to see you down there. We'll definitely share some good times.
We'll share some space at the old Best Western Bar and maybe make it down to the Broken Record for some karaoke.
Ooh, there it is.
But no, it'll be a great time, guys. I look forward to seeing you, and thank you very much for the platform of giving us a voice to let people know what the weekend's all about.
Heck yeah, bro. We'll see you there. Thank you again, TS, and you are welcome back to this show anytime. And like I said, we'll probably get some stuff out of you when we see you down there.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Awesome,
Thank
buddy.
All right.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right,
Beautiful.
guys. I can't wait. Hall of Fame. It's going to be – I'm excited. I'm excited because last year we went, and it was JR had never been there. So it was you got to see everything and experience. And I was like, this is cool. It's been a long time since I went with someone who's a true wrestling fan and hasn't experienced this. And now you get to share that feeling with me as we bring Tommy for his first weekend down there. And it's going to just be – because it is, like, all bullshit and shit aside, like, it's such a special weekend, and it holds such a special place in everyone's heart who goes to this thing every year. And once you go and experience that full weekend, it's like you can't not go again, especially when you look at the price and the access to how many people. I mean, literally, you go and everybody's just around. How many times did you see Mark Henry last year just walking around casually?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to be the same. And like he said, you may end up in an elevator with Trish Stratus that next weekend. You know what I mean? There's a really good chance that happens because we're all in that same area. So I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. I just want to say Trish Stratus is going to be there one more time because
I'm excited. I'm excited this time to see Jim Ross. And the reason
real quick before you get into your reason, Jim Ross used to be a fixture of this weekend. It was always him and Jerry, Mr. Briscoe. And then it just, I don't know. It just, one year he was going to come, couldn't make it, then couldn't make it. And then I think one year they just advertised him and he was like, I'm not coming. So that's why it's kind of funny. This is the great return of Jim Ross.
Do you think some of it may be due to his health issues?
No, there was a couple where he had got booked at other stuff or something else happened. There might have been one year that it was that, or maybe his wife was sick. I don't remember, but there was a couple years too where he was booked, but then had to pull out for something else, which it's fine. He's always speaked highly of this weekend. And he always says he's always been that guy that tells everyone, he's like, if you've never been to that weekend in Waterloo, Iowa, and you're like, what the hell is that? He's like, go. If you're a fan of wrestling, go, because you will be very surprised by how much fun and just how great and the history that's there. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's so funny to me how, and you said it last week, you didn't even realize that was Cowboy Bob Orton asking us where he had to go check in. And I'm just like, oh, hi, Mr. Orton. And you're just like I had to tell you after he walked away, you knew who that was, right? And you're like, oh, no, who? That was Bob Orton.
JR, you're so dumb.
You wouldn't, hey, dipshit, you wouldn't have recognized him either if he came up behind you and you were kneeling down, looking the other way, and he didn't have his cowboy hat on.
Well, to be real honest with you, JR, I don't know why I would have to recognize him in the first place. He knows who I am, as everybody does. When you live the top shelf life, I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. But when you
I
live
sure hope you don't fall in the river once Malice beats the hell out of you drinking. I hope you don't fall in the Cedar River.
We might have to do this outside because at some point one of them's going to puke, and I think.
This is going to be crazy. I mean,
what we should do? Here, I got it. No, I got it. We're going to just get them both really, really drunk, and then they have to do an obstacle course on the scooters, and that's how we determine the winner.
Jesus, that'll be terrible.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to brag, but I've done some pretty crazy things when I've been hammered drunk. So
I'm not going to say that you can't give him a run for his money, but I'm afraid that you might get
My
hurt.
own team,
Hurt.
technically,
Might get-
fucking having very little faith in me.
Look,
this is absolute bullshit.
Hey, but I'll
look,
cheer
that
for
would
you.
be Tom. This would be like if you were Harmon Killebrew
Mhm.
and you had to, hit 4 home runs off of Sandy Koufax. You might get 1, you might get 2. There's no way you're getting 4. And I would be your fan. I'm your fan. But there's just, last year we saw Malice. I don't know how long the guy drank. It's like he just.
No, you're right. Yeah, I remember going to bed and he was still down there drinking.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Don't worry, King of the South. I mean, just because you came over to the show, you realize greatness when you saw it, and that's the big thing. Okay. Now, Cowboy Bob Orton would be the same way when he sees greatness in front of him. Everybody recognizes greatness when they see it. That's the biggest thing. So I appreciate you coming back week after week, man. You show up once and you've been here ever since. Man, we are, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to have to find my way down to Memphis and see one of your promotions or one of the shows down there because, it looked like it was a good time, the last event you guys had. So I got to get down there and see some of that 901 Lodge stuff, right?
I think typically, honestly, I think what would happen would be Cowboy Bob Orton would come up, ask Ace where he's supposed to set up, and then he'd look down at Tom and say, "Oh yeah, and you can go fix the toilet in my room. Here's the key."
I think we're missing the bigger thing, and that is that I knew who he was right away.
I know you did, but you've been there. You've seen him. You recognized him.
This is true. Sorry. Anyways, there we go.
What else did you do to the background, dude?
What?
Did you delete it? Oh no,
Yeah.
You put it on the background. You didn't put it. No, there you go.
There you go, guys. There it is. That some of the names. 130. And again, if you have interest in going and you can get to Waterloo, Iowa that weekend. You loving this, aren't you, JR? Because it's just totally blocking Tommy.
Yeah, dude, so much.
If you're gonna do it and you're gonna get all access pass, guys, do it by Friday so they can get count for that banquet dinner. Wonderful dinner, right, JR? Delicious food.
Yeah. And the cool part about it is, obviously you can sit with your friends, of course, but we were graced by the inimitable Rock Riddle.
Rock Riddle, baby.
And holy cow, that guy so interesting to talk
the
with.
The guy you've never heard of, but has been in the ring with everyone.
Yeah.
Legit. Like, you probably wouldn't know who he is, but when you look back at it, he worked every great big name back in the day. And he's also trains. What is it? He trains stuntmen or he trains for firearm safety for movie sets and shit.
Yeah. It's your birthday, King of the South. It's also Troy Peterson's birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir.
And Rock Riddle. It's either today or he was celebrating yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, man. Happy birthday, bro. Yeah, dude. I can't wait, though. It's going to be a blast. We are going to have some fun.
Now, honestly, I think Tom, you're gonna be impressed by the number of
my
legends
fans
that are.
You're right. I would be.
By what? I didn't hear what you said.
By the number of my fans that show up, yeah, I will be impressed by that.
Let me put it to you this way. For every autograph that you give versus autographs that I give, I'll give you $1.
So you're going to stay poor then, because when I take all of your money, it's going to be a real sad thing. I mean, heck, you just bought a house, man. I mean, you have to make sure this is not a good financial decision on your part, man. I mean, I guess you just want to go live in a goddamn cardboard box, I guess. But
what are you guys going to do when you get there together?
Yeah, we're riding down together, dipshit.
Well, are we, though?
Look at this.
Hey, now see, this
when
is
you get there.
no,
look
no,
at
no,
this.
no, no.
Bryce
This-
Jordan's
this-
already.
no.
Bryce Jordan's already secret plans with Tom. You better watch your back,
no.
JR.
See, this was to be above board. This was not to be denigrated by the likes of the Golden Boy.
Golden God, stop trying to irritate people.
I'm not trying to irritate anybody. That was his name. I loved it. I loved it when he was the Golden Boy. I told people, my God, he's fantastic. And then he turned tail, and it's been downhill. And you know it, and everybody knows it.
Right.
And he's talented. And I always say that. I always say he's talented. I can't do it.
Well, that's your own damn fault. I mean, just because, again, you don't want to recognize greatness when it's right in front of you, which is, again, your flaw. No one else is here.
Oh, real quick though, guys, because whatever you guys are talking about right now doesn't matter.
You're right.
JBL no longer coming.
He isn't.
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, so that's kind of a bummer. I guess like he's got to go to like some memorial service for like a close friend or something. So sad that JBL will not be there. He will be there next year, he said. But again, too cool. Wait, what is it?
Too cold
Scorpio's coming. So, and again, taking on Jackson King. So that'll be fun. And sometimes some surprises will show up. So
yeah, surprise! It'll be so much fun.
It definitely will be, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, especially with this new wager that's been put into place with JR. So can't wait until I get all however many of these yokels decide to go down there to Waterloo. And I mean, when they all ask me for my signature, I mean, one, I got to start charging them too. So I'm going to be making an absolute killing this fucking weekend coming, or not this weekend, but the weekend after with Hall of Fame. So I can't wait. Can't wait till these marks finally realize greatness in actual terms and not just the ones who are there for their Hall of Fame.
You gonna sign as many autographs that weekend as you do at the Gutties Club?
I don't know why you guys think that's an insult that I work as a comedian. I mean, you understand
get paid
that's
for
the
that?
whole fucking goal. Yes, absolutely, I get paid for that.
Oh, I thought those were just free. I thought that
Who
was
in
some
their
sort
right
of
mind doesn't get paid for comedy?
I don't know. It's a clean comedy club. Is that even a comedy club? It's like a Christian place.
Wow, hating on Christians now, aren't you? Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
100%.
Next thing you know, something anti-Semitic is going to come out of your mouth. Probably something Islamophobic out of your mouth too. I mean, you just seem like such a hateful individual right now.
Here's something that I just want to bring up. There have been bandied about terms about phobic. This does not mean what it actually means when people say it. People I know have true phobias. And so to say something is Islamophobic or homophobic is not true, because somebody says something. That's not what that is. You would be literally afraid of category XYZ, just like I know, and you know Danielle Lang. Yes, Tom?
Yes.
Danielle Lang has a phobia about those big wind turbines. She is scared shitless of those.
Huh.
It makes zero, but she, if I say, oh, those are horrible things, then am I turbine phobic? No, she's turbine phobic because she has a physical fear of that.
What's your point on this one? I mean, because your soapbox is kind of running out of fucking crate weight right now.
What?
I said your soapbox is running out of crate weight. Let's fucking get to the point here.
I'm just saying that for being top shelf, you aren't using words.
I didn't come up with the phrasing of Islamic phobia. That's not me. I understand what phobias
but you continue to use it.
Oh, I'm so sorry because I need to go make up another fucking term for something.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. No, so you, even though you know the term is wrong, you still continue to use it.
Listen, You continue to use the term golden boy when you're talking about Bryce Jordan. See, how is this any different then? What are you talking about, JR? What are you talking about?
It's
Hey,
100%
where is
different.
Jordan, Minnesota?
Jordan is just down the road on 169, not too far out of town
Just past
from the cities.
Yeah.
Really?
Why? What you got going on there?
Just past like Savage or some shit.
What?
What? I don't know. On July 30th, MIW invades the Scott County Fair. James Jeffries will be on that card. So will Eric Cannon.
Oh, wow.
So will Miss Frankie J with Blair Onyx and the Hale sisters. So some of the people we know going to be coming up that night for a show with some people that we like watching. So
I also saw, and you guys maybe saw this, I also saw that there is a free show at Pyre's Brewery that First is putting on. Free.
Oh, and this one is free too to all fairgoers.
Well, you got to pay to get into the fair.
That's all right though.
Well, also the same with our weekend away in Waterloo. That Sunday, AWF is going to be at the Wright County Fair, taking over the spot of Crush Pro Wrestling. Apparently, there, JR.
Well, you can't have downtown Petey Brown chasing the Thunder Frog up into the stands. I don't know where that can be seen, if it can be seen. But holy cow, that's we had such a hard time keeping the camera on that.
Yes, that was a weird one. So hopefully that's not the case with AWF, but they also might be doing that one of their tapings, so then it's going to be a little bit more cohesive to where the ring might be. But that was also kind of a weird setup for that as well. So
who knows? Maybe that's part of the rider. I don't care what you do. There's got to be somebody goes up and fights in the stands. Because it's the fair, for God's sake.
True. Kind of feels like it has to happen. So, what is there anything we need to talk about from this week's shows?
No.
I heard that this week on Dynamite they're announcing the next AEW pay-per-view.
Like, you mean location?
Or yes, which I think it's. I'm almost positive they've got to be doing it at the
United Center.
Yeah, got to, right?
Yeah, they.
I mean, if they sold it out with Forbidden Door, I mean,
they can't do that small arena again. It's unfortunate. It was so much fun to go.
Well,
and
I'll
be
tell
able
you what.
Be there.
If that's the case, I am glad we went last year.
Yeah, absolutely,
because that was awesome.
It was, and it was handy in the out there in Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates. It was very handy to get around, and there was so much stuff going on. Oh, that's interesting.
This is true. I've heard this as well. Marco Stunt starting his own promotion, so that'll be interesting to watch down in Memphis. Did you guys see that the Create Your Own Narrative has put out a full-on schedule that includes a stop in Minnesota?
No.
Did not see that from Create Your Narrative.
Where at in Minnesota?
I will pull it up. I think, what's it called? The Skyway?
Where? Skyway Theater?
Yeah, I think it's like there.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'd be probably down to check that out.
They're going to Des Moines too, huh?
Yeah, they're doing a full. Here we go. I got it.
Wow.
They are going to starting October 13th, and they'll basically be on the road through December 11th. They're hitting up San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Fort Worth, New Orleans, Atlanta, Charlotte, Norfolk, Baltimore, New York, Reading, Sayreville, Philadelphia, Tampa, Orlando, West Palm Beach, Jacksonville, Green Bay, Chicago, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Minneapolis at the Lyric at Skyway Theater, and then ending it in Des Moines.
Des Moines, the closeout show?
Yep, and on the picture or on the poster, they have Project X, Private, Primetime, Dante Smiley, Rising Sun, Leston Blake, Psycho Boy, Fooder, Flip Gordon, EC3, and Adam Shear.
Interesting.
I'm interested to see, and it looks like Pro Wrestling Tees is part of the sponsorship on this poster, so they must have money behind this as well. I'm interested to see what the rest of the talent that's going to be announced for that card. Because I haven't really heard a whole lot of names that have completely committed to them.
Well, I wonder, and this is just me thinking out loud, I wonder if they'll, because they're going to places that have good indie scenes, I wonder if they are going to use local talent as some of the talent there.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good idea, but which if they do, would definitely be interested in checking out when they come here. And then on top of that, if they're going to use a lot of local talent when they go to these towns, would definitely want to go check out that Des Moines show because we'll probably know a lot of the people on it. And those shows, those last two, that's Saturday, December 10th in Minneapolis, Sunday, December 11th in Des Moines. And Monday Night Raw makes its return to the XL Energy Center.
Oh, it's nice. It's a nicer spot than Target. Honest to God, and I don't say this other than the fact that I know how brutal it is to go to the shows, and I still think we were super lucky when they came back to Minneapolis with SmackDown, the one that we went to, because they put that on like it was a show versus some of the other stuff that's going on with the ad breaks and whatnot. I didn't watch it. I heard that this Monday there was, and maybe it was last Monday, I don't even know, but I heard that there was AJ Styles intro. He came out, then there was an ad break. Then there were 2 backstage segments. Then there was another ad break, and then his opponent, who might have been Balor, came out. Or no, it wasn't Balor. Balor was against Rey Mysterio. But anyway, whoever it was that came out, 10 minutes from the time he got in the ring until anything happened.
I always feel bad when they do that because the poor guy has to stand there and watch that shit from the ring. And just
absolutely. And you got, I mean, I just think, of course, you're getting paid and you're doing what you want to do, but I got to think that it's just like, good God, why do I have to come out here and sit?
Yeah, my favorite was when they got video of Kevin Owens when they were doing the replays, and he's like, "It happened a half hour ago. We already know this. Why are they showing this again?" Like, that was my favorite because it just shows that it's like, hey man, like, if your own talent's saying it, like,
yeah,
don't you think it's a bit much? But whatever. That genetic jackhammer over there, he knows best.
He doesn't know
what
shit.
Is it? Total, did you see this, guys? Total of $12 million in hush money.
One was a wrestler.
I want to know who that is so bad. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think it was? Who do you think it was? I think maybe Fox could be in that category. I could see a Rosa Mendez being in that category. One of the ones that maybe had some drinking issues while they were on the roster. Yeah.
So I think it was a while ago because I think if I remember correctly, and you might have a chance to look it up.
I can see that too.
Yeah,
I was like Don
but
Marie,
I think what they said was that this particular party came back in 2018, and that's when the payout was, or the agreement, the NDA was arrived at.
God, who? What?
But it was somebody that it happened, and then they were gone, and then they came back.
Well, what female talent came back in 2018?
But no, didn't come back to wrestle.
Oh,
came back to say, "Hey."
I'm gonna talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you see, they scrapped the Netflix documentary, which I was kind of bummed about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I still kind of want to see that.
I would love to see. I would love to see a documentary on Vince McMahon that somebody did that wasn't in his. He didn't have in his pocket. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this would be a perfect reason for Vice to get back into Dark Side of the Ring, right? I mean,
yeah, but I heard they're working with WWE too, though.
Yeah,
at least until all this stuff. But they were basically, I think, going to start doing like what Biography was doing. With
Why?
A&E.
Yeah, I mean they were already working with A&E on all that shit.
And A&E's got a bunch of new ones coming out as well. I heard the one for the Undertaker was pretty fantastic, other than the fact that he was kissing Vince's ass the whole time.
Well, they're buddies.
I know, but
maybe that's who signed the NDA. It all makes sense now. He's the only guy that talks that kindly of him.
That's true. Did you even see that?
It's gonna watch that make the dirt sheets, and it gets tied back to us. Undertaker signs NDA for Vince
and
McMahon.
then we're all dead, other than Tom.
That's right.
No, he's guilty by association. That's your fault for being on this show.
There you go. Did you happen to see Cena's tweet?
No.
So he had a tweet that was sort of cryptic, but something about maybe it's time to step away. Maybe it's time to do this and turn the page, or whatever it was.
Wasn't he supposed to did you guys see when he came back?
Yeah.
So was that whole, because it kind of felt like, well, if he's coming back because right, SummerSlam probably.
I think that was the intent originally. I don't know that that's the case now.
Oh no, I heard like a week ago it was like, Cena officially not going to be at SummerSlam anymore.
I think what they were going to do is they were going to have him
in theory.
In theory, yeah. But I think he's declined, and I think part of it is because he's got so much other stuff going on. You know, he's got his series. He's in movies. He does an insane amount of voiceover work. I don't know if you guys ever notice that.
I'm like, he's on Honda. He's the pistachio elephant guy.
He's
Cricket Mobile.
Is he Cricket Mobile too?
Yeah.
Well, he's on just a ton of
deal or
shit.
something. And then also China owns him, so
yeah. You know what though? One of my favorite things, and it's not like him, but it's him, is that famous prank call that they did at that radio station where they the guy's like, I want you to fuck with my wife because she got mad that I ordered a WWE pay-per-view, so they keep calling her and it's always his song. The Super Slam. Oh, and she just loses her fucking mind.
That's beautiful.
So good.
Absolutely beautiful.
Fucking good.
By the way, if you were late coming into the show, I want to let you see this wonderful T-shirt that JJ's Blood Alcohol sent me. It is Wrestling Legends of Minneapolis, and it doesn't show up great on this goddamn thing. Hold on a minute. I will turn it off so it does. But yeah, I mean, and I certainly don't. There we go. Now you can see the hovel I live in. This is just my office, though.
God,
fuck off.
The squalor.
It's no fuck shower, I guess. There's Vern.
Yeah, what are we getting you to do a show in the fuck shower, bro?
It's not a fuck shower. It's an orgy shower.
Orgy.
Okay, let's get this straight.
So what's
Orgy
the difference
shower.
between that and what? Anyway, look at this. There's
phrasing is everything, my man.
There's Baron von Raschke. There's Hogan. There's Bockmenkel. There's the Road Warriors. Only one not on there is Buck Rock and Roll Zumhoff. I don't get that.
Gross.
The Crusher, the Bruiser, and
guy's not on there because he's in prison.
Yeah, that's right. Jesse the Body Ventura. But this is such a cool shirt.
I mean,
and,
not having
what size shirt is it?
Either one of the Hennings is kind of a fucking problem right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
I would say yes, but I mean, what you gonna do? At
least not having Larry the Axe is probably. I mean, because Kurt was very shortly in the AWA and then quickly went over to WWF. But
this is a 2XL, but it looks like I could wear it once and then wash it and then I'll never wear it again.
I hate those shirts.
You know what I mean? It's cotton.
You know, that one that you know you're going to get one good wear out of it, and once you wash it, it's done.
Yeah.
Because you're fat.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Speak for yourselves, losers. I buy things that fit.
Yeah, you also wear like all black. I know what that means, bro. It makes you look slimmer.
No, it's just a easy shirt color to buy because certain brands that I buy from or that have been gifted come in black. So The hell was that?
What?
That scratchy noise.
Oh, I
That
had to
was-
scratch my beard.
Oh god.
You gotta know what that's all about. You got a
was
beard,
the,
it gets
that
itchy
was
sometimes.
the entire.
You gotta act like your
chat.
beard don't itch ever. Like, come on.
No,
Yeah.
it does. I just don't scratch it and hit my microphone at the same fucking time.
Yeah, well, my microphone's on my head right by my beard, so sorry.
God, the level of unprofessionalism I have to deal with every fucking week with you two.
Okay, hey, seriously, if we do live shows, though, you can only go the half as hard as you go on these shows with the heel shit, because nothing gets done when you do this.
No kidding.
The show kind of stalls.
It's all because you guys aren't smart enough or quick enough to get, like, come on, let's pop with this. Let's do it. Like, come on. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go.
Well, yeah, but we're not trying to just think of comebacks the whole time. Like, we should actually talk about shit.
Why
The thing
not?
is, I haven't. I really didn't watch anything this last week. It's been, dude, shit's been crazy. I don't know about you guys, man, but like, I'm already exhausted, and shit's not even getting any easier.
Well,
I have to fucking go to Milwaukee this weekend and DJ Quinceañera, which will be cool because it's from my cousin. But man, I ain't never even been to a quinceañera. Like,
Well, I remember your joke. Just tape a bunch of phone books around your midsection so you're gonna get stabbed.
this is true.
I mean, I've been to a quinceañera before, but it was for a dog. So,
Who the fuck threw their dog at Quinceañera, and how much
Mexican
money did they spend
dog?
on it?
I mean, it was not Chihuahua, if that's what you're asking, JR.
Yeah.
But they did name the dog Chica. So
Nice.
it was in line with the dog's name.
I like it.
But and it wasn't, I don't think it was too expensive. Like, basically, like not like a potluck, but they made a few things here and there. I mean, no other dogs were there. And the
Well, it seems
dude,
like a bunch of bullshit.
the dude had it at his aunt's store.
When a
So,
dog-
what's your
when a dog turns
relationship with
16,
this
it
dog
expects to get
that
fucked.
you got invited?
The place I was living before this,
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
owner, it was his dog, him and his girlfriend's dog. So
So I talked to my cousin today, and he was like, "Dude," and he told me how much money they've put into this thing already. And let me tell you, doesn't seem worth it. Does not seem worth it. When he told me how much money they're in on this thing already, I was like, well, no shit. No wonder you asked me to DJ this thing. You ain't got no money left. What the fuck?
hey man,
Dude,
you only turned 15 one time.
Yeah, I got a cake. That was all I needed. Holy shit.
I don't know. I got my learner's permit like right as I turned 15. So
Not a boy.
I think day of, like, literally, I turned 15, took the damn test.
So you had like cool parents like that, huh?
Dude, I got my license only because of scheduling problems 2 days after I turned 16. So, like, I was on top of all that shit, dude.
Dude,
So-
my parents
so in
were like, no.
In Minnesota, is learner's permit at 15?
Yeah, and then I took the class well before, like, basically the month or so before my 15th birthday. I was taking the learner's permit courses or whatever.
Shit, I was 14 in Iowa.
Oh wow!
Well, that's why y'all fucking don't know how to drive over there.
That's not true.
Yeah,
no, I
it
mean,
is.
they all learn on farmer's
Learn
equipment. They just think
to
it's that slow
use
all the time.
left lane, for Christ's sakes, people.
Hey,
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I
We-
think
we-
every
you know-
time me and Tommy have gone to Iowa together, it's constantly, what the? Get out of the way! Get out of the way! If you're not going to pass the car, don't get in the left lane.
No, it's everywhere in the Midwest, man. It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't
is.
matter if
No,
it's Iowa
you're
or
right.
Minnesota. Everybody up this way is a
It's happening.
goddamn nightmare to drive around.
Yeah, it's happening more and more here too.
Well,
when
you
I
know,
go
part
from
of
here to the
the,
cities.
and this is just my opinion. Part of the problem is that there's a certain segment of the
You're
population.
good though, Bryce. I'm sure you're not one of those people.
Yeah.
Bryce.
There's a certain segment of the population that drives the speed limit. And then there's a certain segment of the population that realizes that at this point in life, in the world, at least in Minnesota, you can go about 12 over before you get looked at.
Yeah,
If
so,
you're-
like-
if
Well,
you're
you know-
in Wisconsin, when you go over by Milwaukee, you're going to go, holy balls, I'm going 70 and they're just blowing by me.
Yeah, and then like, well, it sucks because then you go to places in like Iowa and freaking they got the stupid cameras that get you. You don't even know.
Oh, yeah. Going through
Yeah, that's
Cedar
bullshit.
Rapids is absolutely the worst. And it's the only way to get, down if you're headed down, St. Louis, whatever. If you're headed down that way, the only way is you got to go through Cedar Rapids, and they've got tons of cameras there particularly going over the bridge, and it's like so easy to go fast there.
Right. Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, smile for fuck's sakes. You look so grumpy. They got some. Oh, they got Waterloo cameras of Waterloo. That sucks. Let's hear about these shows you went to this weekend.
Shows I went to this weekend.
You weren't at those shows that you were sending us messages about?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just it was a long fucking weekend, man.
Dude, right? No,
and then
100% right.
Yeah. So Saturday I was at Higher Ground Wrestling was in St. Paul Park, which is southeast metro. Kind of, and it almost feels like you've already gotten into the fucking country. These some of those towns are so small. But that was Higher Ground, and the very first match was Josh C., who will be the guest next week, everybody. So make sure you check that out. He was doing double duty. So he would compete against this dude named Ewok out of, I think, Maryland. And so that was the first match there. And then Josh C. literally finishes the match. I mean, he cut a great promo to start it because the microphone wasn't working, and he told the ring announcer how to use it properly, which was
that's great.
Fantastic stuff. And so he booked it out of there because then he was going down to your neck of the woods to Pine Island because AWF was wrestling at South by Southeast Brewery down there. So you should have gotten your ass up to that show as I went down to St. Paul Park.
I wanted to. I was planning on going to go into it, but I didn't realize I had already had previous plans of being in Kimball, Minnesota all weekend, so I couldn't make it.
Fair enough.
But you know what I did do, guys? I went tubing for the first time. That was an experience.
Where'd you go?
I don't know, some little fucking lake by Kimball, Minnesota.
Was it a lake or was it a...
Yeah, it was a little lake.
So you went on the lake, so you didn't go like on the river and float down it?
No, hell no. No,
Not
like
that
I
kind
got
of
pulled
tubing,
back. I got pulled behind a boat.
Oh, okay.
The not so relaxing tubing.
Yeah, my friend tried to put me in the water tubing.
Tear up your shoulders and arms.
Yeah.
They fuck your shoulders up. Yeah.
Drinking, gallon of lake/piss water.
Yep.
Oh
Piss
shit!
water.
Look at that.
I actually got a concussion from that one time.
Welcome, Billy J. It's been a minute, sir. Good to see you.
This show has officially started.
Yep, it's official. Billy J. Real quick, Tommy, I want to hear your story. But Billy, are you coming to Waterloo this year? Usually you do. Let us know.
Yeah,
Tommy,
let us know. No, so that was Saturday. Darren Corp was on that show. It finished, and then Ricky Noren was going for the Higher Ground Championship against Heavy Metal Lore. He was not successful in trying to gain the title, but I think he actually did convert a few people over to Christianity, which is a good thing for those heathens down there in St. Paul Park. That was actually to celebrate another friend of myself and JR, Phil Coles. It was his birthday last Saturday, so that was what he asked for, was to have a few people get together and watch Ricky fight for the title. Nice. They messed it up, by the way, too. They played his music halfway through the fucking show, and so they had to basically just go on the fly, have the match that was supposed to be the headline, because the place they had it was at Broadway Bar and Grill or something like that down there, and it's owned by Shane Black's dad. So Shane Black had already come out earlier after Darren Corbin was going to cut a promo. Shane Black cut a promo on his own dad saying that St. Paul Park and that bar sucks.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, it was a great overall event. The actual main event ended up being a 6-man, Eric Cannon, Devon Monroe, and this newer guy, Matt Honey, which he's called himself the King Bee, which it's not good if you ask me.
No, it doesn't work. There can only be a queen bee.
Exactly. So,
and she's already kicking ass. So
he should have called himself like the Pooh Bear or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Matt Honey, the Pooh Bear Matt Honey, I mean, dude, it writes itself. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Pooh, how are you not a bear?
And then they, those three were the faces. They took on Shane Black, who is the current Higher Ground's Future Class champion, along with Damon Sprinkles, who has the worst name one of the worst names of all time. And then Cal Creed, who I've only seen him do either before Showtime and then Higher Ground. I don't think he's wrestling anywhere else other than just that promotion right now. Maybe a few spot ones here and there, but overall not a bad show. And then all day Sunday, I was at Dusty's Bar and Grill for Dusty Days 2. So this is their second annual kind of like mini festival / concert. And hell of a lot of fun, but boy, oh boy, was I fucking tired. I was there from 11:30 in the morning till 1:30 the next day.
Holy
Dang,
shit,
dude.
And then I still worked.
That's a school night.
I still worked yesterday and did my damn
Tommy.
thing because I'm a real champion. And then went back to the bar yesterday
No,
to
it's
have a
'cause you
couple
have a
drinks,
problem.
pick up my pay,
problem.
and eat a fabulous, delicious Dago, which is what Dusty's is known for.
Nice.
And that is not a derogatory term for Italians.
No, it's a sandwich.
It is an Italian sausage sandwich, basically like a burger.
Yeah.
So in case anybody in the chat's thinking, oh, this guy's not woke, I'm not, but also fuck off. Anyhow.
He's Italiophobic.
Yeah. Real quick, very sad to see Billy J
I was
not
gonna-
coming.
That's too bad. I just want to
But
say
real
quick
quick-
while it's still in my head. Why the hell not Matt the fucking honey badger?
Yeah, that could work too.
I would have gone any other direction than what he's trying to go with now, especially with what he's wearing, which is bike shorts under a singlet with, that's what he's wearing. Like, because the singlet doesn't go low enough. And then he's not a small man. And the singlet is definitely a size too small for him, at least one. So it is.
So what you're saying is he needs a doublet.
There you go.
Fast and snappy.
That is, that is the banter I live for on the show. It was here for a while, and then you motherfuckers just got lazy. I'm over here fucking just snapping them off.
No. It's because we're bantering about a topic now. It's hard to banter when it's you talking about how you run the show. Billy, if you're still in the chat room, do me a favor. Shout out the new wrestling show you're starting up, as well as your cruise channel, so we can tell people to check it out, because you're doing some cool shit right now, Billy. People need to see it. So, good friend Billy J. Yeah, dude, that's cool, man. It's been a minute since I've gone to a wrestling show. I think the last one I went to was probably with you boys. So I'm ready for Waterloo, dude, because I'm ready to see some live action. I'm ready for Dynamite. I'm ready for the Brewhouse show. Or Bauhaus show.
Yep.
The
And
brawl at the mall.
So, and I'm also, the Saturday night show is going to be pretty sick. And I heard
the brawl at the mall. I'm sorry.
That's probably actually better at one. But
so I was talking to somebody who, and I can't say any names, but I was talking to somebody who says they're trying to be a part of that Saturday night show, and it would be very exciting if they are. So we'll see if it ends up happening. But yeah, we've got some stacked shows, guys, that we get to go to coming up. Like, we're going to some really cool wrestling shows coming up. JR, quit playing with your dog.
The dog keeps scratching the carpet, and I'm getting mad.
Okay, so Billy J started a YouTube channel, World Wrestling Vlog. Him and two other hosts talking all things pro wrestling from old to new. Saturday evenings, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Guys, check it out. World Wrestling Vlog. Let's put that up on the screen. Go check it out. I'll check it out as well. Yeah, man, we gotta get Billy on here eventually someday too. It's been too long since he's been in our chat, throwing out some gems for us. So, and it is sad that we're not gonna see Billy at Waterloo this year.
Is it?
It is.
I'm kidding, Billy. Whoever the fuck you are.
Tis is,
dude.
I don't know if you've met Billy yet.
I don't think
I
you
haven't.
No,
Billy, I haven't.
Billy J is
shit.
one of the first guys that really hopped on board for us. Not only did he buy a 2-count T-shirt, he also bought one of the count T-shirts that we had. Yeah, exactly.
I still want to do my special edition someday 2-count T-shirt with Billy J doing the 2 on our shirt.
Yes.
He has not had the pleasure.
Met you, huh? Is that what you're saying now, Billy?
Neither of you have had the pleasure of meeting each other yet. Someday. I would hope if you're not coming this year, you're going to make it next year for sure.
And I hope to never meet you at all.
Yeah, dude. such a poo butt.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
man.
it.
Well, dude, what do you guys? Do you have any shows this weekend?
Friday, I will be at Route 47 in Fridley. I
Ooh.
think the breakdown is I'm the
Oh, is
closing
this
comedic act of the night.
is this the opening for the cover band?
Yeah. So I think what they're actually planning is now is to have 2 comics start the night, then they go on their first break. Another comic will go, and I think I am the closing comic. Like I
Yeah,
said.
baby, main event.
It's called the headliner, but again, top shelf shit you don't know anything about.
on this show. It's called the main event.
So is that just out of curiosity?
Why are you bucking? I'm giving you props, you dumbass.
I know. It's the fucking gimmick.
He's trying to help.
What
you.
is the band?
Oh, fuck me.
That sounds like a great band.
I would definitely go watch.
I'll be real honest with you. I don't really know. I've
Don't
never
you think
heard
you
of
should
them.
maybe?
No.
Is it like an '80s cover band or some shit?
Like there's just between.
Why are those
yes,
the thing, guys?
It's an 80s
like it's
rock
always an
cover band.
'80s hair band. Yep. See,
Or
it's
an
always
80s
an '80s
tribute
hair
band.
band. Yep.
Why is my phone not working? Jesus
Why?
fucking Christ.
Why are there so many '80s like hair ball? You know what I mean?
Pearl.
Hello,
How
Pearl.
are you?
Because
Good to see you.
well, that's when everybody thinks that rock and roll was the best, and
No, I think what happens is I think you've got
Everybody was doing coke there in those
you
days.
got a
and-
bunch
that's
of
right.
women who are in that age range, and oh my God, they love the 80s, and they think that that's what if we can get the women to the bar, then the men will show up, and yeah, it's
Dirty
all-
Little
it's all-
Secret. That's the band,
Dirty Little
and it's
Secret.
it's a front woman for the band, and then they have 4 male musicians. So I'm sure
Ooh.
that's encompassing everybody who would want to go and see this.
Yeah, maybe she's hot. We have not. I have not. You guys haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've heard the Undertaker is pretty interesting in that in the amount of praise he gives to Vince, particularly given the current atmosphere for Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I'll watch it. I just haven't yet.
Yeah,
I'll watch
definitely.
it. Have any of you guys seen the new Thor movie?
No,
No.
Dang. All right.
nope. It's piquing my interest a little bit, but I'm not necessarily over the top about it. So
Well, I've heard people obviously movie critics are dumb, but they're giving it bad reviews. But people I've talked to have seen it, loved it. So I don't know. I want to see it. JR, you got anything coming up this weekend?
No, I don't. I think the next thing I have coming up is of course the Hall of Fame weekend, and then after that I'm doing the Silly Beaver Brew House or Beaver Brew House, whatever it is, up in St. Cloud and up in that neck of the woods. I think I'm doing that August 28th.
is that Jonah who books that, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking cocksucker. Okay.
Anyways, Taker's Mom was awesome. I want to watch it.
And by the way, Tom, if Jake is not live, I can't rate him.
Yep. No, I get that. So I try to let him know, but yeah, no, that's fine. Right. Whoever then, 'tis not a problem.
I don't know I don't know who's live.
I don't know. Steel Toe still on? Should we just give them these 15 people or whatever? Oh no, that's right. They're not on Twitch anymore. Shit, they're only on YouTube.
Right.
Whoops, my mistake. Boy, that's a real tough one. I mean,
yeah,
girls in bikinis and stuff like that. Who do you rate, really? I mean,
I
there's these. This is a cool band, Gloss Stick Willies or Glow Stick Willies, depending on who you want to talk to. But I think they go by Gloss Stick Willies.
The only people that I've subscribed or following that are live is Allison K. And
Allison K is live right now. Jesus, let's send everybody over there.
Yeah, why not?
And then this girl Jessie. Do you guys know she's like on Twitter? She does a lot of like reactions to wrestling. She's had a lot. Like she's got a lot of following on there, but she's fun to watch sometimes on Twitter. That's the only people I see on here that I am following.
Yeah,
How do you
that'll work.
rate? Do it.
For fuck's sake, I can't find anybody.
JB is live right now, I guess, but
What JBTV?
yep. J_BE_TV. We know what we're doing, everybody. We're professionals.
I'm not used to doing this shit.
No. I'm not making fun of you. It's just a matter of, talking about this on air and stuff like that. But
Yeah, this is hey, you guys are watching it live. This is the
These
first
people
raid.
love this. They love the pulled back curtain and the stuff of the thing of the. All right,
actually, you guys make sure you're here next week though too, because Jossie is an absolute talent every which way. So
Jossie will be on the show next week, as well as we'll go over our plans and kind of schedule of Hall of Fame weekend. Also, for me, real quick, brand new Briscoe and Big A show dropping tomorrow. Watch it on YouTube.
Nice.
We actually, and hopefully they don't take it down, we actually watched his Impact return match, and he kind of commented on it while we watched it. So make sure you check that out.
Cool.
Drop it tomorrow on YouTube. Briscoe Big A show.
Hell
awesome. Yeah. Well, for all of you that have been hanging out with us in the chat, we appreciate it. And again, as the guys mentioned, Jossie will be on with us next week. That'll be fantastic. But we hope you have a great rest of your week. And if you want to send me wrestling T-shirts, I'll take them. Particularly if you can find old AWA ones or Roddy Piper or Bobby Heenan, I'll take all those. I'll take Andre.
Or go get a T-shirt from us.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too. You don't realize that you could buy T-shirts from us. We do have a merch thing. If you go to 2count.com.
Have a good one, Billy.
Billy J has made it official. He's got heat with Tom.
Tom, huh?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But there's a winky face there, so I don't believe him.
There you go. Pearl, have a good one. Danny, have a good
Pearl.
one.
Dan.
All of you, we appreciate it so much. Take care and bye-bye. Whoops. Okay, wait a minute.
Damn it, JR.
I know it
Damn
always
it,
happens.
JR.
Just shut up. I got 2 minutes left. Okay. Bye-bye.